give you an example. This is a junction, and then you just go. What the hell? This car is fast. Yo, it can deliver Taycan levels of acceleration just like that. Okay, one thing I have to say about this car is that you can just launch out of the junction and nobody's business. The Bridgestone Turanzas are managing the grip really, really well. That means it's not the tires' effort, because I know those tires are not grippy at all. It is the software system of this car in terms of managing the grip that is so good. Another thing, it is stable as hell. It doesn't jerk one side or whatsoever. Proper handling when it comes to abusive acceleration. Love it. On that part, I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, this is happening again. See? I'm only driving this car for a couple of days, and this is the third time this has happened. And I can't do anything. There's no response. There's no on-off button. I can only wait for the car to show a message. System ready. And I do not know how long would that be. I just drove the car just now. It's not like it needs to warm up or whatsoever. But this is not healthy. Yeah, see? There's no response. P, I can hear the parking brake. I can hear the parking brake disengage, but it just wouldn't go into drive. No response. Ah, finally. Once I see this, I can go. That is weird. Alright, that is weird. Get this sorted out. Thank you. Or maybe it's just this car. Alright, my car for the day, delivered by my colleague, is this, the MG XPower. What a name. Look at the size of the caliper. Look at the size of the caliper. And did he even switch off the car? Oh, that looks good. It looks good. This one looks like a, but it's not, just a shape. SAIC Vision. I thought it has. Oh, there's no powered boot. Oh, the car isn't off. Yeah, the car has been running. Konnichiwa. Okay. Give me your bag. Yep. Okay. Okay lah. Alright, that's the size of the boot. That's a good test. Not a huge one, but totally livable. Very aggressive spoilers. And yeah, it looks good. Not small though. It may look like a hatchback from... Wow, look at the undercarriage, the radar, the breathers and all that. Shuttle in Bridgestone Turanzas. Not the stickiest of tires, but good nevertheless. Single button keyless entry. And oh, telling you Morris Garage. Yep, that's the name of MG. But of course, the Brits wouldn't be able to build a proper electric car. Only the Chinese can do it. at a reasonable price. And this car is like, what, 150? What's the price of the car? Let me see. 159,000, and with 600 Newton meters of torque. That is crazy. 3.8 seconds to 100. So this car is as fast as your RS6. It's as fast as your RS6. Okay, and this is how the key looks like. Yep. And floating console, same as the regular one, the MG4. That's a wireless charger, I presume. And the phone is currently wireless charging. Yes, no breather holes here. And a very Spartan, not as Spartan as a Tesla. So, why is this stuck? Okay. Yep. So there is no pretense here to try to look like a luxury car, which I appreciate. You know, it's like, I'm just a car, but I so happen to be fast. I think that's the general theme here. Okay, and it says fully charged. It can go 400-ish kilometers, and we'll see. That's where you adjust the side mirrors, and you have a little screen over here which provides ample information. God knows why it has sharp edges and this one has rounded edges. Interesting. Not a design option, more like cost optimization, I would say, which I welcome. In cars that are not pretending to be luxury cars, your primary goal is to make sure it is affordable, and that's the gear lever or gear shifter or rotational dial. Is there an on-off button? There is no on-off button on the car. So that means if you leave the keys in the car will not turn off itself. And yeah, okay, you get some hard buttons, you know, very nice tactile buttons. I appreciate it. Even the volume buttons, oh, that's such a nice click. This is a rarity these days. Okay, and this is rather quick. So for those of you who do not know the parent company, SAIC, Shanghai Automotive, this is the company that Audi, mighty Audi, went to and purchased. I mean, Audi, can you imagine that? A German luxury car maker that promises advancement through technology. Audi went to SAIC and say, can I buy your platform, your electric car platform, and put my Audi badge on it so that I can sell it as an Audi? Because I do not know, or I can't make an EV at this kind of price point, and so I need to work with you. So Audi has partnered up with the parent company of MG to learn how to produce EVs. Mercedes has partnered with Geely, the company that people laugh at, and ironically Geely's first car is a copycat Mercedes-Benz that is based on an Audi. And then BMW partnered with, who else? I can't remember now, but basically all three German juggernauts had to look for a Chinese partner in order to stay relevant in the future of electric mobility. Okay, and steer as well. Road noise is there because, like I mentioned just now, this is not supposed to be a luxury car with a lot of soundproofing, a lot of plushness. It is a electric hot hatch, or electrifying hatch is supposed to be that. And of course I have cakes in the boot, so I will be very careful in accelerating. If not, the cakes will be jelly. Wait, let me stop here because I can't go further and there are other cars coming from behind. And yeah, 难低的我停它的前面 ，OK？ There's a big boulder here.
等一下，
嗯，
等一下，
没有，因为这个势头在这边。对啊。Okay, wait. Let me go behind. Ah, there's a motorbike here. Now I look like I want to buy rojak, which I actually don't. Okay, 我去哪？
我要下去。
哈？
我要买东西。
Oh, okay. I stop like that. Okay. 小心门会很重啊。Careful. Okay. Okay. That's the largest park button in the car industry. What's this? UA group. Okay. And okay, a large opening, but it's not a large glove box. Everything else is plastic. This car is supposed to be an entry, not entry. It's a basic family hatch. See, don't even get. Wait, let me push this seat. You okay at the back? Is it better?
Yeah.
Yes, darling.
Yeah, a bit hungry.
You're hungry, ah? Oh, what do you want to eat? We'll figure out later, okay? How do I cook that for you now? Impossible.
There's instructions at the back.
I know, but you're in a car, darling.
I know, later.
Okay. And there's a little thing over here. Alright, I'll put this here. What else? Okay, I'll put it this way. If you are used to the modern construction of Chinese EVs, like BYDs specifically, okay, or the other new Chinese brands, in terms of the material that they use, in terms of the fit and finish and all that, right? This car would remind you of Japanese cars. Okay, not these hinges. These are, look at this thing, right? This reminds you of Japanese cars. Not even Korean cars do that. And these are hard plastics everywhere. And SAIC in China is considered a legacy automaker in China. They are one of the early boys. They learn their way from the global established makers. So probably the new car makers from China has a totally different approach, totally different mindset, and that shows in the interior fit and finish of this car. If all the Chinese cars arrive globally built like this, which is on par with Japanese car makers or some Korean car makers, right? The world would be at peace. The world would be fine if this is the way it is built. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just industry standard, right? A Golf is built like that, but BYD, as you can see in their products, the Dolphins and all that, and of course I've seen cars like Neo in overseas markets. When I was in Sweden, I walked into a Neo showroom to use their toilet, and Neo Xiaopeng, all that. Yeah, Expert, okay, not as plush as BYD. But all the new boys. Oh, Zeekr is bonkers. If you compare this to a Zeekr X, if you step out of this car into a Zeekr X, it will be like the difference that you feel will be a bit like let me think. Will be a bit like how do I describe this? From Novotel to probably Ritz-Carlton. Yeah, that would be the difference between this interior build and Zeekr X. Yeah, actually I shouldn't even use BYD as the standard of interior fit and finish. Zeekr is now the standard for interior fit and finish. They are just so far high up there, even more so than the Volvo EX30. Yeah. Okay, now I shall just drive a little bit. No, I'll drive later. Okay, that's all the mumbling time I have, and this is pretty low resolution. But mind you, this is a car with a large battery capacity for its selling price for what it is, and its main purpose is to be a hot hatch. Okay, and MG many years ago, when they are a British company, they are makers of sports cars. Back then they don't have supercars, but MG practically carries that that reputation of making proper race cars, winning races, and on par with Jaguar, Bentley, Aston Martin back then, 100 years ago. That is the reputation of Morris garages and the heydays of car racing, open wheel, and that was the early days. Okay, and of course, well, the whole British car industry imploded one by one, fell, and now what's the last standing? Put aside Noble, put aside Morgan. Earlier on, we have I mean still owned by British itself, you know. Rolls-Royce is practically a German company, but of course with the sophisticated Brits building the cars. Same goes with Bentley. Jaguar is owned by India, but they're still hiring Brits, not doing such a good job. And in terms of British owned, I would say none are truly British owned now. Morris sold to China, and it is only because they were sold to China that this brand continues to exist. If not, it would have packed long time ago. Alright, it would not have survived. And just 3 months ago, you can say McLaren and Aston Martin is still sort of British owned, British operated, and now the last man standing is Aston Martin, even though there is a lot of foreign investment, but it's still British controlled company, or Canadian controlled, at least is their, you know, yeah, cousins. I would say McLaren is fully owned by United Arab of Emirates now. Yeah, it is a UAE controlled company. Yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point. The car steers well. The car, yeah, steers well. Not as much, not as plush as a BYD Dolphin, but that car is smaller and cheaper, but without the brief of this, which is supposed to be a hot hatch. Alright, I'll continue later. Well, so far I can say it drives like a normal car. It is very spacious, relatively comfortable because if it is an EV, but I would say the pliancy of the car is around that of a Vios or Honda City. Alright, and the overall feel of the cabin also around of that level. Okay, but of course it packs more features. It has, look at the radar, it's actively telling me what car is in front, what car is on the side, and you know when the radar is always on, you know when you're not paying attention, the car will brake on behalf to try and prevent an accident. That is always a very nice feeling, to actually know there is an invisible hand Okay, operationally wise, I appreciate that this car still has a whole load of physical buttons, and just now I struggled a little bit trying to press this little panel up there to, I'll show you, to wind down the air conditioning. Okay, I was trying, where is it, and it's this little thing up here that I have to press it in order to, yeah. But I like the whole touchscreen situation. It's very easy to press, there's no delay at all, and it's intuitive enough where, you know some cars, when you're when you are driving and moving, even a slight motion and then you will either deregister your presses or accidentally you press something else, but so far it's okay. And some cars, they mount their screen slightly inbound to have the dash acting like a lever for you to rest your thumb, and then you can press in a more stable manner. This one, none of that. I wished one of the hard buttons here that is so intuitive to press could have been the climate control button. A quick access to climate control would have been a lot nicer, but it is a quick access to turn on and off the aircon. Really? If I press this and you slide this menu down, then I can do on and off. But why would you want a quick button for me to turn on and off the air conditioning unit? That is beyond my understanding. Okay, so ergonomically it really feels like a regular car that is very easy to get accustomed to. You don't need a difficult learning curve. Fit and finish is good, still slightly better than the Japanese, I would say. Yeah, I wish I can just zoom towards that lane when there are no cars. Oh, no cars. Okay. All right. Yeah. Nice. Alignment is pulling slightly to the left, probably caused by some over-enthusiastic motoring journalists that had the car before me. Yeah, not a big deal. And I'm not going to do an acceleration because, again, like I mentioned, it's Christmas Eve and I have some cakes at the back of the car. Maybe it's an age. Nowadays I test cars and use them like how any consumers would use. Visibility of the car is fantastic because the whole car has a pseudo SUV kind of proportions. It is not the regular proportions of a hot hatch like Golf GTIs and all that. I'll give you an example. If you look at me now, I don't know whether you can see it. I don't think you can see it because the roof is dark. My head is actually pretty far away from the roof liner. The whole cabin feels extremely airy and spacious, and the side mirrors are mounted on the doors, and there's a little window at the base of the A-pillar, and then the whole A-pillar is just so far above me. So I feel not as cavernous as the Ion, don't know what name, like that failed taxi. Not as cavernous as the G6. Some people call the G6, the Xpeng G6, an SUV. I don't think it's an SUV. Or the Model Y an SUV. I don't think it's an SUV. It has the same ride height as a normal car. Look at the clearance of the Model Y. It's just, it has a bulging roof. Okay, so this car is not as bulgy as a Model Y or a G6 and all that, but it is in between that and versus a hot hatch. Okay, so it feels very airy and very spacious inside. Comfortable, although I can hear road noise. Yeah. Alright, EV in front of me, EV on my right, and the car is beeping because I'm touching the lanes without touching my turn signals. Comfortable. Okay, just now I went through some rumble strips. It is harsh. Okay, but not many cars can handle rumble strips really well. Some extremely pliant ones can. But I noticed something interesting as well. There is a lot of road feel through the steering wheel. That is something that I can't say for a lot of electric cars. Okay, most of them has absolutely zero road feel. In fact, a lot of new Ferraris has no road feel at all. The Roma, for example. This one, interesting, has a very, very talkative steering wheel. You feel the road texture, you feel everything through the steering wheel. That is interesting, to say the least. Probably because of the harsh suspension and a very direct connected and tight tuning of the steering wheel. So very interesting. Alright? Yeah, totally. Even this type of relatively smooth tarmac, you sort of feel the grain from the minor vibration. That is interesting. I like the steering wheel. I like how it steers. I like how it drives. Just that at speeds of like 100-ish km/h, I'm already hearing wind noise, road noise, which is very normal when you are in a normal car with the engine running, muffling all this sound together, and it is by no means a loud car. But sometimes in electric cars, when you don't have the sound coming from the engine, all these things gets amplified. Yeah, so hence why. See, single pane glass, whereas BYD puts double, and double helps with soundproofing. Okay, so it's another choice. I haven't driven the Zeekr X, but I think the Zeekr X would prove to be the most important rival, I would say. And with the way the Zeekr X interior is built, that car is an easy sell when people hop into the car. It just feels so expensive. It has an interior that is even higher grade in terms of touch and feel than probably a lot of Porsches. Yeah, let alone the Germans. Right? Yep, it's not a bad choice. Go and test drive this car. Looks good, very spacious inside. Relatively spacious, I would say, for what it is. And the boot is decent. But 159,000 could prove itself to be a little bit of a stretch. But remember, this is a car that does 3.8 seconds, which is the same as the BYD Seal that costs 200,000. But of course, that car is a lot plusher inside than this one. Okay, but not everybody can afford 200,000. If you want that kind of acceleration, then this should be the cheapest, fastest car for sale out there. Bar none. Bar none. Right? The others are all more expensive than this. The Volvo EX30 also does 3.8 seconds, or maybe even faster. But that car is what, close to what, 180, 190, around there? Oh, no. The high performance one is 200-ish. So yeah. So if you want sub 4 second, you want to have fun doing drag race with a Nissan GTR, with a Lamborghini Huracan, Audi R8, Audi RS6, you want that kind of acceleration, and your budget is only 150,000, this is your chance, right? And you can do it while still, you know, that kind of petrol cars, when you do launch control, 3-point-something seconds, your maintenance cost goes up like that. Now, I'm not sure if the one in China is equipped with Turanza, but I'm very sure if you change your Turanza to some other tires, grip will improve a lot. So I'm not sure if the 3.8 was done with Turanzas. If it is done with Turanzas, good job. Yeah. just realized the reverse camera. Yeah, this is the front camera. Okay, usable, but both are not extremely high res. The funny thing is, the front camera is also within the housing, so you get sort of like a pinhole view. The rear camera is sort of surrounded by the spoilers, so you also get another kind of OK
靠过来一点。
我拍了，等下拍了，不会了哦。
他是拍那个 V 的，
OK OK OK。
你不要，你先拍过来一点比较好，不要对着那个绳子。
哦，拜拜。Sorry。
是好怕的，会不会觉得不要对着
OK。是哦。All right. Yeah, I think that like that better.
better.
But it's accurate. At least I get a 360 view and it's rendered really, really well. There are no distortions on the 360 camera. A lot of them near objects that are nearer gets distortion. This one doesn't. So I appreciate that. Very proper bird's eye view. Okay, and then you have the sensor view. This is proper. This is fully making use of your screen real estate to do the proper things. Okay, and I presume if I take the keys out, the car will switch off, or if I lock it. Yeah, it's all right. The doors open about 80 degrees. Hey, May, don't close the door, darling. I want to sit inside, darling. Yeah, I want to sit inside. So that's my sitting position. Let's see the back. It's yeah, it's not crazy spacious. It's not the most spacious. Definitely a Vios or CD is more spacious than this. So this at the back here is reminiscent of what would be that of a Golf or A3. So you just have a higher roof line. This is nice. You can put your phone, put your iPad, your stuff. So this car is interesting. One USB port. Interesting in the sense that everything internally feels like a petrol combustion era car, except the fact that it is electric powered. Yeah. Okay. So does it make a extremely compelling case as a car that intrigues me and would go like, wow, you guys should check this out, you know, you should buy this or get the industry curious? Not so. See, it has the ride height roughly that of the Countryman. It has that kind of ride height, but it doesn't have that kind of roof height like an SUV. But inside I get headroom like an SUV, but it's not as tall as an SUV. Boot space wise, it is nice. There's a false floor. I can lift this up and put it there. And I'll take this.
Okay.
小心, careful. What's this? Yeah. And doesn't have a lot of interesting new materials like a lot of Chinese car makers have shown us, like BYD and all that. These are very familiar, commonly used industrial, commonly used suppliers. This is soft touch. These are hard. Yeah. The seat is interesting. Yeah. You can raise it up pretty high, and then you sit like an SUV, and then you give a lot of feet room for the rear passengers. And even at this height, I can sit in comfortably and have a very commanding view of the road in front. Yeah. Then I get a SUV-ish kind of sitting position. Now when I'm sitting inside here, I totally feel like I am driving an SUV, apart from the fact that when I sit so high, this part, because I cannot adjust the side mirror height, right, it becomes very narrow as opposed to like that. Then I get a very good view out. But if I sit tall, which is This kind of headroom is normal for a lot of hatchbacks and all that. Very normal for me. I'm 180 cm. So if I sit like that, I would have liberated a lot of leg room for the rear passengers. You can see here, now I sit in, it becomes spacious now. Alright, so, but there's no panel roof, no. You see, you hear that? That is very familiar again with Japanese cars, with a lot of European cars as well. Yeah. Okay. No power boot, which is a rarity these days for, especially for an electric car. So that's the MG4 electric. Very good looking car. Not a bad choice to cross shop. Okay, but to win consumers' heart, it needs some convincing to do. But it's a looker. It is a good looker. So tell me, for 159,000, 3.8 seconds, 600 Newton meters of torque, comes with everything, good looks. Is this a compelling choice for you? I'm so used to being wowed by EVs now that, oh no, yeah, that Xpeng G6, that the blandness of its inside actually made me feel that the only thing that car offers is space. What else? This one, at least the drive seems pretty okay, but it has to be the least soundproofed EV that I have driven so far. Alright, there are still others. Yeah, cheers. Okay, final part. I'll be sitting at the back. Macam Nissan. Okay. So, my wife will drive. Simple. Oh, no armrest. Is this
Breathe fresh air and enjoy yourself.
Well, it doesn't usually do that. Okay. Yep. Pockets here. That's about it. So, I would say sitting at the back of this car. I hope MG don't hate me. The experience that I'm getting is more or less that of a MyV. Apart from the fact that it's an electric car, that's about it. Alright? Really don't have the usual expectation we have of Chinese cars. Hello, boss! Thank you. Yeah. But it's spacious. It is spacious, just like a MyV. There's some Alcantara-like material. That's about it. The pockets are nice. That's about it. Nothing much. Alright? A lot of road noise, a lot of road feel, which probably jives in with his character of wanting to be a more handling optimized, fun driving hatchback. Yeah. Full throttle. Fast. Okay, after speed bump, let's see. Okay, after speed bump, see how savage my wife is. Okay, let the CX-5 turn. Like, you see. You see, RS6 owner likes it. Go! Oh,
Scary.
yeah, that's the nice thing about EVs. See, that's what I like about electric cars. You walk up to the car, you unlock the door. Of course, this one doesn't unlock itself. I still need to press the button on the door, but you just pop in, put it into gear,
Wish
and
you have a lovely day.
wish you have a lovely day. Yeah, and then off you go. And yeah. So my conclusion on this 159,000 EV is that the range is not bad for its price. The drive is relatively good for our expectations of Chinese city buyers handling EVs. I'm not saying it's as good as a Golf GTI. No, it's not. Just that it's not wallowy. It's not soft and cushy. In terms of comfort, it is on the crashy side, probably because of its intention to be more driver focused. And that's about it. That's about it. I would say amongst new Chinese EV cars, this one is the most familiar for those who are not familiar with Chinese EV cars, because it's just like our Japanese cars. Okay, in terms of fit and finish, in terms of the operation of the car, there's a lot of physical buttons, not too deep of a menu system until it almost seems like a desktop software where you have to go in through icons and all that, options and all that, you know, like Tesla and BYD. Those, no, this is pretty much straightforward. Has physical buttons that has very good tactile feedback, except the fact that the most used thing doesn't have a shortcut button, which is air conditioning control. That one ought to have the physical buttons, which this one doesn't have. The screens, the software, the UI, they all are snappy, not laggy at all. They just react. So it's operationally, it's very easy to use. Interior appointments is a bit of a trying to be different, but end up not going anywhere. You know, it's huge, vast space, but because it's not covered here, which they could have, if they covered here, this would be a ginormous storing space, which they did not. Instead, they choose to make a floating console of sorts, which is nothing much, I would say. Okay, hard plastics are everywhere, used in abundance. So you can drive this and then you hop into the much cheaper BYD Dolphin. Okay, the BYD Dolphin doesn't look half as good as this, but everything in that car is better for every day, as in the suspension and the seats. Oh my, the seats of the BYD Dolphin. Brilliant seats for the price of your car. I'm gonna say it again, those are better seats than a lot of E-Class A6 5 Series segment seats. Are not as good as BYD Dolphin's seats. Okay, though this one in this car is okay, comfortable enough, but not in the sense whereby you were surprised by the level of comfort, that kind. Okay, now I'm not sure if this car has all the auto parking features and all that of modern Chinese EVs. Not sure. Blind spot warning, yes. Adaptive cruise control, yes. Haven't tested the adaptive cruise control because this is a driver's car. Yeah, other than that, the interior just feels like a jab. Not much buttons here, nothing. Is there auto parking, MG Pilot? What do they have here? Front collision assist, rear assistance, cross traffic assistance. Okay, nah. I think the simple, straightforward stuff. Okay? Yep. Yep, that's it. That's it. Nothing much. Nothing much. Function only available in P gear. Auto hold. Yeah, lighting, convenience, blah 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 blah. Driving, energy recovery, driving modes, sport, custom, eco, snow. How much of a custom you can custom, I wonder. Right? Bluetooth connectivity. That's GPS. Oops, let me adjust the brightness. Okay. You see, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Charging. In terms of how it uses its battery, I think it's pretty good. When I got the car, it's like 90. Still pretty alright after some use. But other than that, other than it's electric, it feels like a normal car. Okay. The ride height also means ingress and egress is convenient. Okay, it's higher than normal cars. This one will disappoint many, huh? If they think that they're buying new modern Chinese cars that are very advanced and all that. But nevertheless, it's not a bad product, not a bad looker, unique in its own way. Okay, that catches attention. The calipers. The car looks like a crossover SUV, but interior space is a lot smaller than crossover SUVs of this size, which when you see this car next to a HRV, it is somewhat similar size, similar height, similar dimensions, but in terms of interior space, it is by no means comparable to a HRV. Far apart. Okay? Cheers. And yeah. Bye.